All right. I'm not well versed in that one.
That's all right.
So Dan's out?
Dan's out. Yeah, he's
Dan's
having technical issues, it seems.
That jerk.
Yeah. Oh, well. We got to deal with just the three of us.
Oh, good. Guacamelee made it.
Yeah.
I need to hear about that game.
Because of the name?
Wrong.
I don't think it has anything to do with the food, but we'll see. We'll hear about that.
Well, no, they're just even the name, Guacamelee, guacamole. Is like
It's the title of the year.
Totally.
All right. We ready to go?
Yes.
I believe so.
All right.
I'm rolling.
Adam, you rolling? 'Cause I'm rolling. I'm ready to go. All right. Let's count it in. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, hello and welcome to the machine. This is Perpetual Geek Machine, show number 90 for Friday, April 26th.
Hey!
As I pull up my calendar real quick.
Little speed wobble out of the gate there.
I am your co-host, Kevin Alexander. I'm joined today by Ryan Hewson and Adam Dixon, and together we combine to form the Perpetual Geek Machine. How you gentlemen doing tonight?
Great.
Very well, thank you, sir. I prefer these tripod forms. It's more concise.
It is, and there's less talking over, and we don't have to deal with Dan since he copped out, and
he's the leg that broke, and we just snapped it off.
Technical issues.
We snapped it off and left him on the battlefield.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll carry on somehow without him.
We'll manage.
I'm looking at our itinerary tonight, gentlemen. I'm rather excited to hear about all this shit. I mean, I'm involved in two of the things, but we got a nice wide swath of really cool geeky shit to talk about tonight.
Yeah, we really are all over the place.
I've had the advantage of being able to build up for a couple of weeks.
That's true. I think we took a week off last week because we really didn't have anything. And
because YOLO.
Yeah.
shoot me whenever you feel like it.
That's your one. That's your one permission to do that.
I made that joke once now, and now it's done.
It's done.
Dusted.
Thank God.
Exactly.
Throw it away.
It's over. It's over. And so we'll go through. We got movies. We got a little meeting of unpublished board games. We got board games themselves. We got goofy video games. We got goofy movies and all sorts of stuff. So we'll do all that in the first part of it. We'll take a little break, come back on the other side with 5-hit combo. And tonight's going to be myself versus Ryan, and we're going to be debating our top 5 things the other Avengers are doing while Iron Man is getting his ass handed to him by the Mandarin.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent question.
Yes, and so Adam's going to judge that, and then we'll just bullshit a little bit after that. See what comes up in that little section there. So without further ado, before we get started, I wanted to point out those of us who have been with us a very long time will remember that. We had the Bitcast for Bits, Bytes, Pixels, and Sprites. That was our first podcast. We got up to episode 90 on that one, and that's where we stopped.
Oh, wow. Shit. We are about to eclipse the Bits and Bytes?
We're about to tie it.
Wow.
So as long as we do one more.
As long as the world doesn't end.
Now. We will have... we'll have done more Perpetual Geek Machines and Bitcasts.
Well, I'm sure we'll get there. What could possibly go wrong?
Either way, I was listening to the very most recent Mark Maron's WTF podcast. He was talking to the guys who do a Yeah Dude podcast, and he's talking about them being like some of the pioneers, some of the originators, and they got started in guess what year? 2006, the same year as the Bitcast.
Yeah.
Wow. See, if you guys never broke that up, you'd be
had
up
we
to
known
200 by now.
Well, we would have been way past that. I have a feeling anyway. But
was there a big break between Bitcast and the startup at PGM?
About 6-7 months.
Yeah, for sure.
Did
we roll over that RSS feed, or did it all just go onto Libsyn at some point as a new thing?
All rolled up as a new PGM started as a new RSS feed. But I think we tried like kind of just jamming it in there where the Bitcast was.
Yeah. I don't think it totally worked.
I don't think it worked. Oh well.
We're just prestiging, you see. Yeah. We got to the end, and now out of a huge act of hubris and humility at the same time, we are starting over.
Yep, that is very true. All right, well, either way, Ryan, why don't you tell me about Django Unchained? Because I watched that this weekend as well.
I like that movie.
I fucking loved it. I mean,
It's one of the most puerile revenge things you can ever set eyes on, but so is Kill Bill, and I like that too.
That's kind of been Tarantino's thing since Kill Bill is all the revenge stuff.
He makes really prickish characters, and then he takes great delight and relish in killing them one by one.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of get the sense that, the actual mentality behind it is not dissimilar to a child on the sidewalk with a magnifying glass laying waste thermal death to a whole anthill. Like, it's just kind of how it feels, but it's cool escapism, and he's got such fun wrinkles. The whole thing about the German guy and then the black Jamie Foxx's character, like Django's character, has a love interest named Broomhilda, which is so Tarantino, because it's this German folklore character, and I guess a more common name in German, but it ties in with this traveling dentist bounty hunter. That guy, Christoph Waltz, is that his name?
Yes.
Man, what a prize that guy is. Like, you can tell he found him in Kill Bill, and he's like, I need to use him again, and he's amazing to watch.
Inglourious Basterds was his first flick with.
Was it the first? Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, that's what, between these last two, because Inglourious Basterds, if it wasn't for Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Basterds would be Tarantino's best movie.
Well, I have mixed feelings on that one, because I liked it too, but it feels like two not quite formed distinct movies that got jammed together. Like, that's my criticism of Inglourious. I liked it, but it's like there are two arcs, there's two movies, and it feels like he couldn't make up his mind. Whereas people say that about Kill Bill, and I think Kill Bill completely worked well together.
Yeah, it did.
Like, I liked it. And he seems to be really good at cutting long form stuff. He's making long ass films these days.
Yeah.
But they never feel like they're like, to me anyways, I don't feel like they're padded or like anything extraneous. It's just, I feel like they're more like novels, and that you just get to really dig into these characters.
Right.
Never strays far.
Did we tell you that Dan and I have tickets to go see The Whole Bloody Affair on film? Over in Philly, they're screening it. There is a small group of guys, they call themselves Exhumed Films, and they just dig up old horror prints and screen them. 16 millimeter, 35 millimeter, whatever they can get their hands on.
Right.
And they got permission to take the Whole Bloody Affair print, the only one in existence that comes from Tarantino's personal collection of film, and they're going to screen it in Philly at the International House in June.
Philadelphia gets a lot of stuff like that. It's cool. Like, I've noticed
there's a really good like film screening community there. Like, their film festival is pretty good. The International Film Festival.
Does he send that print around everywhere?
No, this is only. It was screened at Cannes when it debuted. It was screened in Los Angeles. This is only the third time it's ever been screened.
Wow.
And he's not going to do it often either, because he knows every time you do it, you do damage the prints. It's like a record.
Exactly. So we're very, very excited about that. I'm very excited about that. But anyway, one of my takeaways from the movie was that Tarantino should never make a movie without Christopher Waltz ever again. The guy is too much of a treasure. He's too incredible to watch. I love his vocal pattern that he uses in his excellent, outstanding English. Because
his diction. I'm sorry, this is the second language for me. Could I perhaps bother you, gentlemen? Like, he says, "I'm sorry, this is my second language," and then just runs rings around them vocabulary-wise the whole movie.
Yeah, and then also the other takeaway is that he should never, ever, ever put himself in a movie again, because he was so distracting and terrible. Like, 80% of the way through the movie, he shows up with the worst Australian accent that any actor has ever tried to use.
There's Australians in this movie?
There's a little bit of everybody in the movie, but it is his spaghetti western, so it's insanely violent. Incredibly bloody, like gallons and gallons of blood.
There are two things to that point that really stuck out at me that I kind of wish he didn't do. One is he did use like these preposterously oversized squibs. Like, every time you shot someone with one of these guns, it was like a fucking shot. Like, pieces of meat are flying off of them.
That's just an homage, right?
I guess so, but this was like really like incandescent pink clouds shooting almost like a Kurosawa film out of them. It was insane. Unless it was like that one little not to spoil stuff too much, but somebody has like one of those crazy holdout pieces that pops out of your wrist. That gun just makes a neat little buttonhole.
Yes.
But everything else is like a hand cannon.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was going to say is I did not like his use of anachronistic music. He used music that was obviously way past the period.
That was my other point I was going to bring up. I'm glad you brought it up.
I didn't like that because otherwise it's a pretty good standard Western. Like it fits into the Western box perfectly, except that he can't resist putting in like a Motown song, or he just can't.
I had no problem with it at all. Really, I actually really appreciate it because he is so careful about the music he chooses, and in my opinion, like
that took me out of it a bit. I did every time that happened, I was like,
Well, here's the other thing he did. There's two other cool things about this. One, what I was going to say is I think he uses popular music better than any other director making movies today. Wes Anderson's a close second.
Scorsese.
All right, he's third. I was going to say I was going to say Cameron Crowe.
Oh wait. How about Danny Boyle? Some pretty good.
He does a good job, but not always my taste all the time. I love Trainspotting. His choices for Trainspotting all were perfect. But what he also did, there was no original music created for Django Unchained except for like a song that Ennio Morricone did. But he used like any score pieces were taken from other films.
Right.
And to the point where when you buy the soundtrack,
the meta homage of Tarantino.
When you buy the soundtrack, all of the recordings for the soundtrack did not come from like the master tapes or anything else. They were recorded from his personal vinyl collection. So like he wanted everybody to hear it exactly how he's been hearing it all his life. So I thought that was really cool.
I love how he also can't help using like really, really, really old studio logos and bumpers.
Oh yeah.
Like he just can't.
I love that though. It fits in great with the genre stuff, I think.
I swear he's adding like VHS noise to some of them.
What'd you say, Adam?
Were they songs that we would recognize as being from back then, or did they just fit into this one?
You'd have to be a bit of an aficionado, I think.
Definitely, yeah. It's always his soundtracks always introduce me to stuff. Like when he did the soundtrack for Death Proof, introduced me to Joe Tex, the old soul man, who I'd never heard of before. But he's fucking awesome. Right. So I love that sort of stuff. But I want to move on. Actually, I think it's safe to say we both recommend Django Unchained. I think it's pretty great.
Yeah, I'll add one last thing on this. I'm surprised at how many people have like a really nasty reaction to it. Like I've got some friends who fucking hate this film, like really, really hate it. They think
I get it.
A total waste of time, and I'm like a little bit of a head scratcher for me because I'm like it's just so clearly a popcorn film, but it's playing with dynamite subject wise. So I guess maybe that's it. I don't know. It's
a lot of N-word. It was pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah, but I mean,
when you're dealing with like that time period in slavery, I suppose that's okay.
The way I look at it, and this is not our place to get into the politics as we usually say, but like, if you're gonna let Mark Twain do it and Huck Finn, you got to let Tarantino do it here.
That's kind of hard time though.
Right.
Yeah, that's just it. It's
time period and subject matter. When you're dealing with slavery as a subject matter, I guess you got to kind of, that's the way it is, I suppose. Yeah. But Adam, you went to an interesting event over the weekend, I believe in Philadelphia. So tell me about that.
Actually, it was in Woodbury. It was on this side of the river.
Oh, so the Pixel Lincoln guys are probably there.
Yeah. All right. Jason Tagmeyer.
Yes.
He was there. Unfortunately, I didn't get to speak with him because it was a fair-sized event, and just he was busy when I was free.
That's cool, but let's back up a second. What is the name of the event? What was it?
The event was, it's put out from unpub.net. It's for unpublished board games and card games. That site helps organize game developers so that they can all get together, not only themselves, but also get outside people to come and play test their games, which is hugely important to people trying to develop games, because you can sit there in a box and think that you have everything all figured out, and the first time you put the game out there for someone else to play it, they find 5 different gaping holes in something.
Right.
So, and this is something that Dan and I have been starting to look into more and more, developing our own games. So, unfortunately, we didn't find out about the event until like the day before. We're not really sure how it slipped through the cracks of our Twitter and Facebook lookings, but it was definitely a cool event. It was, like I said, in Woodbury, New Jersey, real close to us. They had about like a dozen tables set up that had games that you could go and play, and they had all different levels. They had some kids games set up for like anyone as young as like 6 or 8 years old. we did bring my 4-year-old son along, and he did sit with us for a game. A game of that was called Animal Run. It was based off of the game Temple Run.
Oh, cool.
And the developer just kind of changed it around a little bit using animals so kids would get a little bit better feel for it. And that was a lot of fun for him for about 3/4 of the way through. But being as young as he is, he kind of bailed on it most of the way through. But that was a really cool game. And the other game, well, before I go on to the other game, the cool thing was, say that too much, is that they had awesome feedback forms for people. So you sat down, you got to play a game first all the way through. The developer would be there, and you go over all the rules with everything, and you get to play the game through. And then, if you're willing, he gives you a form to fill out to get organized feedback, and like they get to ask you specific questions about the game, things that they want you to give them feedback on. And then, of course, there's a whole big empty section for just your general feel about the game, any kind of comments that you have. And it was good coming from how we just came from PAX, where everyone there, it's a little bit different vibe. Everyone's there to like play as many games as they can and have fun with just the games.
Right.
But here it was delving deeper into the game and things that make them click and move along.
Right.
I played one other good game that was Dr. Witz's Post Position. And this game was all about horse racing.
Okay.
But it wasn't simply just get your horse to finish first. It had a mechanic where you bought and sold stocks in different horses. You didn't even have to be the horse owner, so to speak. And based on when they were going to finish. And so, like, I could buy 5 shares of a horse, and if that horse comes in first place, then I get 5 times the finishing money, whatever the horses win when they win a race. Purse. Yeah, there we go.
They win the right to not die.
Yeah, not get turned into dog food or glue.
They don't have to be on that show Luck.
Ooh, that's a fate worse than death.
Yeah.
But
it's a fate that is death.
That game was really, really good after I figured it out. It took me a little bit to understand about the whole, because you got to move the horses along and everyone got to vote, like have their own thing and move the horses along. And so once I figured out that, hey, if I buy stock in these horses there and move them along a little bit quicker and get other people to buy stock in the same horses, then that gives me a better chance of getting my horses across the finish line first.
That's cool.
And yeah, that was a much longer game, but it holds like up to 10, 12 players. And so near the end of the game, there was a lot of stock selling going on and all, and it was a good table of people, and just everyone was having a good time, and it definitely brought all the different people together.
Right.
But
That's cool.
The unpub.net, I would definitely recommend if you ever had an interest in getting involved in game development, or even if you just like playing unfinished games and helping the developers out, go visit that site. They have events running for the next 2 months, just about every weekend, different parts of the country.
Awesome. That sounds really cool. I kind of wish I knew about that.
Adam, let me ask you a quick question about something I'm just kind of curious about at an event like this. It's almost like a local Kickstarter for board games, right? Like they're doing some sort of incubation kind of thing with this, right?
Yeah, it's first to get their game out there.
What's funny about incubation?
No, I
smashed the microphone with his beer
bottle.
Oh, that was funny. That was pretty funny.
It gets the name of the game out there, so some people start playing it and talking about it online, which is good pre-Kickstarter. So that way you start building a little bit of knowledge about the game,
right?
But it's mainly really for the development purposes of it. So
this is my question. So like, I'm wondering, do you think, just in your impression of it, do you think that these guys tend to start with a mechanic and then apply a theme to that? Or do they start with a theme and then, or do they do it together? Is it like an organic thing together, you know?
I've seen it go both ways. Like even in things that I've been toying with, different games, people do definitely come up with a mechanic first.
It seems to be the right way to do it to me. Like that's how you do a video game too. You'd play.
I mean, I can kind of testify to this a little bit. Like I've been very, very piecemeal, slowly working on something myself. But I started with a theme. I did the exact opposite. I said, all right, I want to make a theme. I want to make a game about this because no one else has made a game about that.
Okay.
And that's
See,
that's where I started.
I've been pondering this myself because it's a real weird chicken and egg sort of creative question, you know?
Right.
Yeah, and the best is I really think it can go either way. If you have a theme that you really, really love and are really invested in, then you're gonna work at that harder to find the right mechanic for that theme.
Right.
If you find a mechanic that you kind of like, then you can try and find like any kind of theme might fit, but you're of course going to want to find the best one that syncs in with that mechanic.
Right.
So it can definitely go both ways.
All right. Very cool. Well, why don't you keep going and talk about King of Tokyo?
King of Tokyo. This past weekend, Dan and his wife came over and we all played King of Tokyo, which won an award recently for family game.
Being the best Godzilla game based in Japan.
No, I don't think it was quite that specific. I think it was a generic
Best panty sniffer.
Oh, well.
Best Yakuza turn-based family game.
I would definitely play that. But no, this one was good.
I'd also play a real-time Yakuza family game. I'm not a snob.
You would play the character that just stands there and doesn't do anything.
That's right.
Until something really important happens. But no, everyone gets to be a monster who is wants to attack Tokyo, and all the different players kind of take their turn getting into Tokyo. And when the game starts, no one's in Tokyo yet. The first one that successfully rolls an attack gets to get in there. And then they get to they start piling on victory points while you're inside Tokyo. You roll. There's a die rolling mechanic for attacking the other monsters, and also gaining more victory points, and also gaining like energy cubes that allow you to buy cards that have nifty little side effects.
Okay, what did Tokyo do to piss everybody off?
Well,
it's Tokyo, man.
Yeah,
it was just all things. Tokyo and shit.
Yeah, we all fucking Tokyo.
We drop nukes there, so there's various giant monsters that are around.
Yeah, I'm fucking blanking on the goddamn video game where you play as the monsters destroying the buildings.
War of the Monsters?
No, come on, man. You know the one I'm talking about. The arcade
Rampage.
game. Rampage. Thank you.
Okay. But yeah, the only the weird thing is that there's two ways to win. There's killing all your enemies, and there's also getting to max victory points, which is like 20.
Okay.
Neither of the times we played, anyone came close to getting all the victory points needed. It just became a slugfest to kill all the other monsters off.
What is the win state for max victory points? Like the city is flattened and everyone just goes, "Oh fuck it," and goes home.
You never actually destroy.
Nothing left to smash. Like, why are we here?
No, you get a victory point when you get into Tokyo. And then if you're able to stay in there and maintain all the way around, you get 2 victory points every round that you're able to stay in there. But the weird thing is when you're in Tokyo, all the other monsters, whenever they attack, they're only attacking you, whoever is inside Tokyo.
Oh.
And the monster that's inside Tokyo, whenever he gets to attack, he's attacking all the monsters simultaneously outside of Tokyo. So so if you're inside and you get like 3 or 4 hits, that's 3 or 4 points of damage on all the other players, and you only have
that almost feels like a kind of shim, you know, like somebody found a game balance problem and maybe inartfully solved it or something.
Yeah,
that's very broad to just put that giant wrinkle on top of everything.
Yeah, it really, and it did just become a point of, all right, how can we do the most damage to whoever's inside?
Right.
You get a quarter of the way into the game and you're not even worried about maintaining victory points. It's just trying to kill off the other guys. And when you're inside, when you're inside Tokyo, there's no mechanic for you to be able to heal yourself. But if you're outside Tokyo, you can roll hearts on your dice that you're rolling. Okay. And you end up getting health back and all. But all that said, with that you don't really worry about the victory points, it still was a hell of a lot of fun because
it sounds fun.
Yeah, very top level, high level game. That definitely people who aren't super into games, you can get this in. Like Dan was playtesting it basically to play with his parents.
How many players?
I think. See, I wasn't prepared.
Like 4 or 5.
We played with 4. I think it goes up to 6. I'm not 100%.
Nice. That's a good size. Between 4 and 6 is a pretty good sweet spot.
I almost think that the analog game boxes should now have like the range, like ages 4 to 20 or whatever it is, like or players, like how many players it supports. This is 1 to 4. This is what does cards say, like 2 to 40 or something.
Yeah. It's like
I almost feel like that should be like a graph, you know, and then like the sweet spot should be somewhere around 8. Because if you've ever played like, you know, like cards with like 12 people, it just takes so fucking long to read everything. You forget what the first person said. Like, you can do it, but it's not optimal.
So a graph comparing number of players with fun.
Yeah, like basically like here's the range of players that this game supports, but you want to be in here somewhere.
Right around here is pretty good. What game is that? Like, see, but then you have a game like X-Wing Miniatures that is made for 2 people, and we've expanded it to 4,
right?
Just by making 2 teams. Like one side plays the Empire, one side plays the Rebels, and you know, you just kind of team up and work together and just take turns. Like that works that way too.
Monster's a good theme for a board game, though. I like
definitely.
I used to name my hard drive Tokyo, just so when I ran my disk utility on it, it would say, "Are you sure you want to rebuild Tokyo?"
Nice.
Oh, Ryan. All right, I'm gonna jump in here now. Keep a little bit of the silliness going with a newly released video game called Surgeon Simulator 2013.
I heard this had a little bit of quappishness to it. And that it was fucking hard to control.
Oh man, let me tell you about Surgeon Simulator 2013. Now, from what I understand, I should have did a little bit more research before I talked about it, but I think it started as a joke game made in one of those 48-hour programming festivals.
Oh yeah.
And so when you boot up Surgeon Simulator 2013, which I love, you know, the title right off the bat, because there's been all kinds of simulators coming out recently.
Also, there was
really
no 2012 or 2011.
Yeah, that as well. Like that suggests that there's going to be a Surgeon Simulator 2014 with new advances in surgery.
It's an annual franchise.
All right, so let me tell you about this. This game is a first-person game. Starting with the menu, all you see on the screen is an arm and a hand. And you have the A, W, E, R, and space buttons. Now put your hand on the keyboard if you're in front of one on A, W, E, R, and space. It rests very comfortably there. A controls your pinky.
I guess so.
W controls, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like each one of those buttons.
I feel like I'm making an action figure hand while I do it.
Controls your fingers to contract and squeeze individually. The left mouse button lowers your hand, or letting go of it raises it. Moving the mouse left and right and back and forth, you know, moves your arm, and holding in the right mouse button and moving the mouse left and right, twist your arm, and then backwards and forwards, bend your wrist.
Wow.
And those are your controls.
Game needs move support.
So you basically, your first mission is to do a heart transplant.
Right.
So that's the first mission. And so you
that's a proper simulation.
Yes.
Where does it go from there?
Let's start there. And
like
so basically you boot that up, and then you have a patient lying there and with a little cover on it, and you touch the cover and you kind of just shove it out of the way.
And you cut their junk off.
There is his chest wide open, sternum, everything right there. He's got a little mask on. He's got, like, in the side is...
you don't get to carve him open like a turkey?
Oh, dude. There's 2 tables of tools. There is a drill. There is the saw. There is a manual handsaw. There's all kinds of scalpels. There's syringes. There is the box with the heart in it that you're replacing it with.
Nice.
And so you
What's
have
in the
basically
box?
Half the game is trying to grip the tools. Like, that's the first thing you have to even try to do.
So it's like Drunk Surgeon 2013.
Oh, but this game is perfect to play. Like, you remember one of our first, it might have been our very first 5-hit combo was the top 5 games you play while drunk.
Yes.
This would be number 1.
Oh, man.
Period. Oh. It's so frustrating, and it's said that even the creator of the game doesn't play it well.
Should be called like Tijuana Back Alley Surgeon 2013.
Yeah, it really should. I don't know if it still is, but when it launched, it was $7 on Steam. I believe the highest price it's going to go is $10. It is worth every fucking penny, even if you only play it for 15 minutes. Wow. It's a very strange game, but I love the irony of how there's people say that surgeons like they keep their dexterity going by playing video games.
Yes. This
is the irony. Like, I don't think anybody can play this game well. There is almost no way to be good at Surgeon Simulator 2013.
Weird sidebar, but my cousin actually, he's an intern, or I guess he's a resident now, to be a doctor, and he played the drums growing up, and he says he's operated like virtual apparatuses that require both hands, both feet to
Oh wow,
do stuff, and he performed something here in Toronto that happened in South America.
that's pretty cool.
It's really wild. Like that shit is actually real.
That is a strange coordination, man. Like even just playing Rock Band, where you're only using one foot.
Yeah.
Did you ever try to like play the drums of Rock Band and sing at the same time?
Yeah, you got to really split your brain in two like a proper hippie.
That's really weird. Like you can get into a pattern and be in the pattern fine, but then as soon as the pattern changes up and you're trying to sing, like just fucking forget it.
Yeah,
crazy.
That stuff is. My dad can do like guitar and harmonica at the same time. He's got like the head brace thing for the harmonica. You know, kind of what's the guy's name? I forget the singer, but you know the style. It's like that's. I don't know how you do that. I guess you have to develop enough muscle memory to not have to think so much about the first thing.
Yeah, I think so. But anyway, yeah, I spent a little time with that, and I'm going to spend more with it just for the laughs. And I took a little video of me trying to do the heart transplant, so I'll put that up either in
Nice.
In this show or separately on our YouTube channel. What's that?
A video of the gameplay or of your frustration?
No, the video of the gameplay of me trying to play this. I mean, you don't even need my commentary. It's pretty damn funny.
You should have a second mic hooked up. Just like drop the heart on the floor, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Come here.
Ryan, why don't you you got a few more things. If you could run through those with a little bit of expediency, but I want to hear about Iron Sky, definitely, because I'm needing to watch this.
Yeah, well, it's on Netflix, so it's a real easy choice. I'm just saying it's not a total waste of time. It's actually kind of funny. So this is the movie about moon Nazis. Nazis fled in a secret contingent to the moon just before the war ended.
I'm looking at
He's
so excited.
and they've been hanging out there for 60 years building a preposterous complex. Like it's not tiny, it's fucking enormous.
Like
it's
Death Star big or bigger?
Oh yeah, like they have like a fleet of like 24 space zeppelins. And everything is like, and some things they don't even address. Like as soon as they get off the surface of the moon, everyone's just walking around like normal, like the gravity.
Like, hey, cool, we on the moon.
They're driving little German motorbikes with the sidecars around and shit. Like it's actually really like it's a very knowing film. It's not trying to be like serious in any sense at all.
I like the leather spacesuits too.
Yeah, well, it's like plot's really weird. It's a very strange movie, but it's strangely compelling too. Like you don't feel like you're wasting your time. Like it's kind of chuckle worthy. There's even like a Downfall reference at one point. You know, the guy just the shaky hand comes up to the glasses and like takes them off, and then she's screeching at someone in the room, and then they cut to the people in the hall who are just huddled around going, "Oh shit." The U.S. president is like Sarah Palin, basically. So you know, she actually is like she's thrilled when moon Nazis show up. She's like, "This is the best thing you could have handed me. I'm a 2-term war president now." So it's you see some jokes that are a little bit like, well, a lot grown worthy, but it's got charm to it. It really does. And I will say, like, even though a lot of the practical effects are like purposely pretty budget looking, like their spacesuits are the dumbest looking things I've ever seen, the CG they do is actually really good. Like when you see these armadas coming in, and there's like a nice twist at the end of the film regarding spaceships and who has them. Apparently everyone. So it's just like you see these giant battles and you're like, right on. This is actually
the impression I got was not that it was one of these like super low budget sci-fi Saturday night films like Adam watches all the time, but like somewhere between that and like a low level A-list movie.
Well, I'll tell you, when the film starts, there's about a dozen different funding logos at the beginning of this thing.
Well,
it just rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls, and they're all these Euro agencies you've never heard of. So, yeah, worth watching for almost free on Netflix for sure. And it's one of the better, sort of B-movie purposeful things I've seen recently. Just,
very cool. All right.
Moon Nazis. Can't go wrong. And I have also been playing Guacamelee.
Yes. Tell us about Guacamelee.
This is
it more than just a clever title?
Yes, it is definitely more than a clever title. It's this is by Drinkbox Studios. They're in Toronto here actually, and they did the About a Blob games before, which were these like very very polished platformer type things. Pretty safe formulas, but like very, very well executed. And I would put Guacamelee in that same category. A little bit better. This is like a in that style of like a Metroid or a Castlevania, where you basically roam around, pseudo freeform, a platforming environment. You know, jumping around and picking up new power. So you pick up like a headbutt, you can get through red walls, and you know, stuff like that. So they were all matched. But you know, this is all Mexican themed luchadors. And luchadors apparently in this ethos are a kind of Mexican knight that goes around doing good and justice for everybody. So that it has like some very cute writing in it. It almost feels like the style of the humor is very much old LucasArts, like kind of just like pseudo cheesy, tongue in cheek, like very punny. Not afraid to make joke. Every poster in the game, like all of the art on the walls, is either like a Mexican version of a video game that exists or a reference to an internet meme from Reddit. Like every single one of them. You know, you'll see like Casa Crashers and stuff like that on the walls, and
right.
So that's kind of funny. It provides some color. The art and the music are fantastic. Like really, just bang on. Couldn't have done a better job. Presentation wise, it's just got this really nice kind of papery two-dimensional thing going on. The animation's fantastic. Like it's just charming as hell, you know.
Right.
But it is a kind of a Mexivania, you know. So it's a little bit weird at first if you haven't played one of those in a while. It's like, well, where do I go? And it's like, well, just go somewhere. They've gated it so you can't get too far without the right power or whatever, you know. So it's awesome. I'm playing on Vita, but it's one of those cross-buy games where you buy it on one, you get it on PS3.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty great. I gotta say,
really
like,
good
they're
about
not getting
those
enough
things.
credit for that. Like, yeah, I guess because no one's bought a Vita, but
yeah, totally.
That's really cool. Every time I go to PSN Plus, I see like every game is like, oh, you know, buy it for one, get it for both. And it's like that's fucking.
There's
awesome.
A lot of them now. Yeah.
Now let me ask you a question. Does the Vita have the cloud sync so that you can like bounce back and forth between the Vita and the PSN, like the PS3?
Yeah, you
That's
have to.
Great.
You have to manually push it. That's the only little wrinkle is when you're done.
Yeah,
you
but
have
still,
to say send this up. But that's all.
You can still do it though. That's really cool.
Yeah, and if you have installed both, you can just pick it up and resume, and it's awesome. Yeah,
awesome.
It's a really cool game. Definitely worth the price, and it was on sale for the PSN Plus people too. Like I got it for like $12 or something.
That's really cool.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Do you want to talk about this StarCraft expansion?
You know what? I'll
say about that.
I'll save it for another time.
All right, sounds good. Well, that brings us up to the break then. So let's go hit that, and I'll throw some music in right around here. I'm good to keep going. Does anybody need to take a break? Take a real break?
I'm just gonna get a drink.
I just need a second.
During the music.
Whoa, everyone's gone.
Hi,
I really loved what's so funny about incubators. That was fantastic. And since he called it out, you can't just remove it.
No, that's fine.
Like nothing ever happened.
I was actually thinking about marking when I hit the microphone to take it out, but then we had to acknowledge it, so I was like, all right, well, let's just stay in then.
I weirdly it barely made a sound on my end. Maybe I just missed it, but
You were talking
on my end,
so it probably didn't come through very well.
My booming voice tends to cloud out things like that.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? No. I just I remember we got a really great summation of what 5-hit combo is from one of the guys that we met up at PAX. One of Dan Lloyd's friends emailed us, and gave us a really great summation of it. What the hell? Oh, that's me. No. I saw something else. I just haven't booted up this thing in a while. There it is. What the hell?
That's what the uh-oh was for. I knew something was coming. You should have played that during your Guacamelee talk.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know if it would have recorded or not.
Oh, I stuck a small file in the PGM upload thing. I was testing before, and I said just a couple silly things.
Yeah, I listened to it. I was actually sitting at the computer when it came through. That was pretty good. That's exactly the thing, the type of thing I was thinking. So,
was that enough for tonight's or
no? It's totally fine. That's totally fine.
All right, cool.
For the next time on, is that?
Yeah.
Right.
So
I wasn't sure if we were just going to record those at the end of this or what.
That's what I was thinking, but Adam did it ahead of time. All right, we're ready to come back.
But
Sure.
the game is perpetual.
Alrighty, welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed your break. We enjoyed ours very much so. It was a short one. It was nice.
I am broken.
We are broken. We are good to go. So we're going to throw it right ahead into 5-hit combo. And I'm going to hand things off to Adam, who is going to read off our new freshly minted description of what 5-hit combo is from our friend Jonathan Mitchell. You can find him at jerkface_killa, KILLAH on Twitter. He was kind enough to stop by on up at PAX East, and he gave us a great summation of what 5-hit combo is. So Adam, you're taking over hosting duties from here for this segment. So go ahead and read what John sent in.
All right, from John, 5-hit combo is a friendly competition in which two players read back their top 5 lists of a given topic in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 style, while a third player judges the list based on his or her own personal taste. The players may change every week, but the game is perpetual.
I fucking love. That's what sold me. The last line right there. He worked in our name.
Unbending.
We could not do 90 episodes of this fucking show. We cannot work in the word perpetual into the description of 5-hit combo.
Yeah, well, we're not very creative type.
Not all the time. We're not.
Listeners.
We have excellent listeners.
So, and as was mentioned before, tonight's top 5 things are the things the other Avengers are doing while Iron Man is getting his ass handed to him by the Mandarin. I came up with this because we've been watching some Justice League of America on the cartoons with my son, and every other episode, like one Superman's not around for some reason, and another one Green Lantern's not around for some reason, and they're having trouble, and it's like, well, just call Superman, he'll just come and fix this. And so I was thinking about how they're going to get around it for the Iron Man movie, so I leave it to you two to try and come up with why. I'm going to flip a big coin, and who wants to call it? Ryan?
Tails.
Oh, is that what it always is? Yes, Tails is it. Would you like to go first and or second?
I will go second.
And that wouldn't be fair if you just took both ends. I'm sorry, what do you want to do?
I will just win.
Okay. All right, Ryan wins. There we go.
I won the coin toss. We're done. No, I'll go second.
All right, second, in which case that means Kevin gets to go with his number 5.
All right, while Iron Man is out getting his ass kicked by the Mandarin, the Hulk spends a lot of time in court defending destruction of property charges because Hulk smash.
Likely.
Is he defending himself, or does he have a lawyer?
Oh, he defends himself.
Oh, well,
it doesn't go well, but he defends himself. I mean, would you, like, no matter how much money you're going to get from it, would you want to work with the Hulk?
Well, probably not.
All right.
But
exactly. Also, I want to preface all this. 100% of my information on the Avengers is derived from the movie that I saw once while I was sleepy at a drive-in.
You don't know anything else about any of the Avengers characters?
Like maybe a little bit about the Hulk, but Hawkeye, Black Widow, Thor, Captain. No, not a thing.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So Kevin's list is going to be sleepy. Check.
Yeah.
All right. Hulk defends himself in court for number 5 for Kevin. Ryan.
My number 5 was also about the Hulk, actually. I believe Dr. Banner is tied up at the DMV. because he has spent some time being dead now, and since he's sort of reemerged and he wants to work for S.H.I.E.L.D., he's going to need some credentials. Also, apparently, if his new shtick is to be angry all the time, I think that's not a bad place for him.
Yeah, that definitely would keep him in angry mode.
I like to see the Hulk stuck in traffic.
He wouldn't be for long. Have you seen him jump?
Yeah, true.
He rips out of his car and boom, and he's at his destination. His GPS must be really fucked up. Jump 3,000 miles to. All right, Kevin, you're number 4.
The lot of them, with the exception of Iron Man, they are constantly defending against thousands of terrible jokes about shawarma from fans and passersby.
That was self-inflicted.
It was, but they still have to deal with it now.
Apparently, there was a massive spike of shawarma sales in New York after that.
There was, yeah.
Do you think there were any?
It's the food of superheroes. Shawarma.
Do you think there were any shawarma trucks that just like clearly said Avengers shawarma on the side?
If they were smart, they did.
As seen in the movie Avengers.
Yeah.
Chicken shawarma.
Yeah, there you go. I don't have any follow-up. That's the whole joke right there.
All right, shawarma defense. A lot of defense in your.
So far, it's going to veer off from here.
Okay, cool.
I basically did one character per.
Those are my 2 dump jokes. So that's,
okay,
that's why they're 5 and 4.
People. Get ready. All right, Ryan, you're number 4.
Number 4, Captain America is unable to help because he's currently appearing in a limited run on Broadway in Book of Mormon. Major Rogers' primary work experience is, in fact, in show business. So I think that would be appropriate. He's contractually locked up. He can't show up. Also, he's not really a mean-spirited guy, but I sort of get the feeling that Cap would make fun of Mormons. I just have that, have that feeling.
This ain't American.
Nice. All right, Book of Mormon, Captain America. I didn't know he was a classically trained actor.
Yeah, most of Captain America, the movie, was him in stage plays for the USO.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
I guess I got to go back and watch it.
I didn't see that.
That's where his preposterous costume came from.
Oh, all right. That pulls it all together.
Yeah, it's actually a really great way to write around that nonsense.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, Kevin, you're number 3.
Hawkeye. That's the name of the dude with the arrow, right?
Weird. My number 3 is Hawkeye too. That's strange.
Hawkeye is constantly scouring the internet, building his collection of Black Widow animated GIFs.
Of which there are several.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I wrap 2 Avengers into one joke.
Insert motorboat sound here.
Yeah.
Nice. He spends a lot of time trying to hack into her cell phone,
Yeah, or just going to Reddit or something.
Okay. I would imagine that would be popular if Black Widow was
Yeah. Have you ever seen the one of during a costume test or whatever else, and all John Favreau and some of the other actors are standing there. She comes and walks up and turns around and walks away, and John Favreau's eyes just immediately go to her ass.
Well, he's the director. He's allowed to do that.
Oh, of course, yeah. Why else do you count? Scarlett Johansson is not a good actress, so why else do you cast her in a movie? Besides to dress her up like a China doll. I mean, that's really
I know nothing of her acting ability. Wow,
I don't think she's a bad actress.
I don't think she's good.
I knew that
she's not January Jones bad. Let's put it that way.
Oh,
but
well, yeah,
it's really
faint praise.
I knew she was going to be a star way back in 8-Legged Freaks when she was 15 or 16.
January Jones couldn't act an inanimate carbon rod.
My wife describes Scarlett Johansson's acting technique the best. She acts like she is trying to emulate people in movies who already act. Like she acts like
acts like an actor.
She's acting. Look at me, I'm acting. She probably can phrase it much more eloquently than I can, but that's the best way I can describe it right now.
All right.
Yeah. All so anyway,
Black Widow gifts check.
And Hawkeye.
Brian, you're number 3.
My number 3 was Hawkeye has pink eye, and he's just sick. Guy's not super human. He's gets diseases like everyone else, and
nice.
Hawkeye he's just sick.
I kind of love that we both had him doing just very boring things.
Yeah. I just wanted to be able to say Hawkeye has pink eye. That's the whole joke.
So is he pink Hawkeye?
That's the joke.
Yeah, he's like, I can't aim at shit. I'm useless.
All right. Number 2 from Kevin.
Captain America has, he was like kind of like frozen, right? Like in time for a long stretch of time.
Yes.
Well, it was
much later. Okay.
Frozen in ice, yeah.
So he has to catch up on a lot of things, and he just discovered Netflix and how to watch that on his television thing. And so he spends hours upon hours on Netflix and catching up on the episodes of Leave It to Beaver and the Andy Griffith Show that he missed.
Ah.
That is what he'd watch.
Leave it to
That's what I thought.
All right.
Nice, wholesome entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, from time appropriate, like he essentially went to war, and then like whatever happened to him, and he woke up in the Avengers movie, and there's all this TV that he missed. His DVR was completely full, and he's got to like knock out some of those episodes.
I like the idea of Captain America watching MASH and just going, fuck.
Oh my god, it's so fucked up.
That was bad.
I cried at the end. He ran all those stones.
I could have helped there.
I really could have been useful. They should have woke me up.
That war went on for like 17 years, it seems. All right, Ryan, you're number 2.
My number 2, Spider-Man, who is also sometime Avenger, is tied up in court trying to get out of his publicity contract with Sony. Not let him appear with the Avengers for some fucking reason.
Sony's gonna defend that with everything they've got.
Oh, they're gonna keep fucking. You're gonna see Spider-Man movies from now until we are all dead.
It's so annoying. She's like, he's right there. Just put something in the background. I don't know.
You will all make so much money. Who cares?
Yeah, they got to be able to work out a deal.
You would think. Look at Roger Rabbit. Yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? They had every fucking cartoon character ever animated.
I don't think that can ever happen again.
Yeah, it will never happen again.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. And bringing it home with number 1, Kevin.
All right. Whether you guys like this or not, I fucking love this, and this idea to me is fantastic, which is why it's my number 1. So Thor, he dresses up like a shitty cosplay Thor, and he spends his time going to cons and pull the "here, hold my hammer" joke over and over again. But it's really the Thor hammer, and nobody can pick it up.
Nice.
Eh?
They're like, how did you get this?
Thor's a dick.
You haven't been able to tell that through the movies? He's a total jerk. All right.
And him just laughing and laughing.
Hammer joke.
Pull my hammer.
But
pull
the
my
hammer's
hammer.
not his penis.
Pull my hammer.
All right.
And he's like a really shitty, like his Thor outfit is terrible. And
does he keep his body so his body looks good, or does?
Well, yeah, he's still there. I mean, you see all kinds of guys like that at PAX. Like the ones who cosplay with the guys without shirts on just because they're not fat.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know if he was going to go all the way with since he has a terrible costume.
Yeah, that's the visual to me. That part's in
Terrible costume, good body.
Okay,
I'm gonna try and pick it up. Haha. Word. No, it was funny.
Augured that one in.
All right, Ryan. Number 1.
Number 1. I'd just like to point out 3 out of the 5 I've chosen the same hero for that number as Kevin. My number 1 is also Thor. That's weird. Thor, I think, is this is going to be a little bit of a deep cut. Thor is hanging out with Moon Knight because somebody has to. Nobody gives a fuck about Moon Knight. Poor Moon Knight.
I don't even know who Moon Knight is.
He's an Avenger! I know there's like 60 of them that we have to account for here, but it's fucking Moon Knight. Come on, man.
Moon Knight, all right.
He's slightly less popular than Ant-Man.
Hey, Ant-Man at least made it to some of the cartoon
status.
recently.
Yeah, no, he's got a movie coming.
Yeah, but not for like 2 years or something.
No, I think it's next
run
year.
This thing for like decades.
It's next year, the Edgar Wright one or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, Thor is hanging out with Moon Knight.
All right, check. All right, you guys go talk amongst yourselves for a second there. I gotta.
Ant-Man. I'm thinking of the cartoon. Was that The Ant? What the hell was that?
Oh, you're thinking of the Tick.
The Tick. That's what I'm thinking of. I want to see it. Yeah, Tick. There was that live action Tick show too, wasn't there for a while?
Yes, there was. It's had Patrick Warburton from
That's right. Yeah.
Seinfeld, and it wasn't Costanza in that too. Like, wasn't
Was
he?
he?
He was the Moth or whatever. Like, wasn't he?
I don't think. I'm not sure that's
No.
correct, but we have
No, I
the
don't think
internet
it
here
was.
at our disposal, so let's look it up.
The Tick was the Tick had some of the most quotable lines of any cartoon. Big things come in. How'd it go? It goes, great things come in small packages because big things can't.
The sidekick was Arthur, right?
Oh yes, Arthur,
yeah, it was David Burke.
Wow.
It was not
or unless it's a heart.
Alexander, my cousin.
A big, pulsing, juicy heart, as big as the moon, but much, much warmer.
I really need to dive into my family tree because there are so many Alexanders and we range all over the place, and I just need to see if any of us are related at all.
All of you.
Tick?
Yeah. Well, no, Jason Alexander. If that's his real name.
All right, bringing it all back.
Yeah.
All right.
Wrap it all in.
Do
Do you have a decision?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay.
All right. So for number 5, Kevin said the Hulk defends himself in court, and Ryan said the Hulk stays at the DMV because he needs to be perpetually angry.
And needs a driver's license.
And needs a driver's license because Bruce Banner has been quote unquote dead for a while.
Right.
I like the idea of the Hulk in court trying to defend himself, trying to sit in the small chair in the witness stand, and just trying not to break everyone. But the DMV was awful close. This was almost a tie, but I really hate ties, so I had to go for the fact of him in court simply because I think they'd make him wear a tie, and I would like to see him wearing a tie.
I love the later Hulk where he was the Gray Hulk when he was just Bruce Banner, but in Hulk form all the time, and he would just wear giant suits and walk around.
Yeah, so during that stage, he was smart and giant and strong, right?
Yeah, he had both. He was just Bruce Banner, but in Hulk form all the time.
Where's the drawback there?
Well, he can't fit through doorways.
Oh, okay, all right, good point. You're like Tor Johnson in Plan 9.
There's that.
All right, and number 4 was Kevin said they all were spending too much time defending themselves for eating shawarma. And Ryan said Captain America would go back to his roots.
I said they were defending themselves against the onslaught of shawarma jokes that everyone would throw at them, not for eating shawarma. You got to listen, my man.
Well, all I wrote down was shawarma defense.
Well, that's not. Yeah,
it's like the Chewbacca defense. This makes no sense. Therefore, they must eat shawarma.
You're ruining my terrible joke.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry. I thought no one could make it worse.
Oh. So clearly I lost this 5-hit combo.
Well, you definitely lost this one, at least. Captain America.
Book of Mormon.
Starring in Book of Mormon, because it made you laugh, Kevin, when Ryan said it. So if the opponent laughs harder...
Making me laugh is not a good judge of anything.
Well, no matter what, it was much better. All
right. It was much better. Those are Ryan's answers.
A limited run. I mean, let's not be ridiculous.
All right. On to number 3. This was Hawkeye was spending too much time trying to find animated GIFs of Black Widow online. Did I get that accurate enough?
That's just what he was doing. Whether it's a judge of too much time or not is up to the listener.
I can find those GIFs in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Well,
he's just trying to find all of them.
Oh, okay. And his searching isn't too good because Hawkeye has pink eye, as Ryan said. so that's why it was difficult for him to see the keyboard and all. And although I do enjoy the pink eye Hawkeye back and forth there, I do have to go with the Black Widow animated GIFs because it's Black Widow body and yeah, there's
in animated GIF form.
I'm going to be a dude there. Like that's all there is to it.
There's nothing wrong with that. All right. For number 2, we have Captain America is trying to blow through his Netflix queue, watching Leave It to Beaver and Andy Griffith Show, trying to catch up on all the stuff he misses. So he's up to the 50s watching TV shows. And Ryan had Spider-Man is was trying to find a way to get in, defend himself against Sony, who was trying to keep him out of the Avengers movies. And I got to go with that one because, hey, Captain Netflix, that was good, but the Spider-Man Sony thing, that's too much.
We all hate
relevant.
it. We all hate it.
Yeah, they're just making terrible movies now with him, and just to keep the money rolling in, and it's just dumb. Especially to keep repeating all the same stuff that's already happened. Just do something new with them at least.
Congrats,
Ryan. Through no fault of my own, this comes up to a tie, coming in at number 1. We say that all the time. But
yeah, it's a tie. No, it's
you won the first one.
I got the first one, and you got 2 and 3, and I got 4. I think.
Well, no, Kevin got 5 and 3, and Ryan got 4 and 2.
All right,
sorry,
I'm going the other
Ryan
way.
got
Sorry.
5.
Yeah.
That's tied.
So for number 1, we have Thor going around to conventions and doing terrible Thor cosplay, but playing the joke of, "Hey, can you pick up my hammer for me?"
No, here, hold my hammer. Come on, man.
Well, but if he gives it to him, then it's just going to slam to the ground.
Exactly. That's fucking funny.
But that's going to hurt their knuckles.
You have no toes anymore.
Thor's a dick. That's the point of the joke.
Thor is a tool. And Ryan's number 1 was Thor was too busy hanging out with Moon Knight. And since I don't know who Moon Knight is, I had to go with Kevin for Thor doing terrible.
No one loves Moon Knight
cosplay.
Suck it, Ryan.
I'm going to look it up now, at least, so now I'll be able to speak about him in the future.
I have to admit, my Moon Knight reference is entirely pulled from that Patton Oswalt Parks and Rec video clip that's been floating around this week, where he says, "No second or third tier Avengers. We're not going to put up with that in this movie." Okay, so Moon Knight comes in.
that kind of rolls into the post 5 combo bullshit session. I saw this rolling around. I'm an avid Parks and Rec.
Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I assumed you won, but here we go. I'm fucking killing Adam for not getting my shitty, terrible jokes correct, and he gives me the win anyway.
Yeah,
you're a good man, Adam.
I stuck with it. I didn't change it up.
So I love Parks and Rec. It's one of the it's probably if not the funniest, it's one of the top 3 funniest shows on TV with Louie and Archer right there with it. And this clip started rolling out like Monday or Tuesday, and the show airs on Thursdays of Patton Oswalt in this Star Wars filibuster.
Well, they couldn't have aired the whole thing, and it's way too long for the show.
I saw the clip was like 8 minutes. I'm going, we'll just show the whole thing in the show, and nope, they show like a minute and a half of it. I still haven't watched the entire eight minutes or whatever it is.
It's
of it.
Incredible, yeah.
Patton Oswalt, it really is. He is like no bullshit.
Set it up a bit for people who don't know what the clip is.
Okay, so there's a council meeting where they're trying to get rid of some of the outdated laws in Pawnee, Indiana.
Yeah, this is Patton Oswalt on Parks and Rec.
Exactly, he's a guest. He's guest starring. He's not a regular or anything like that. And so his character comes up and starts, basically filibustering to prevent some of these laws. He's a champion of the old laws, and so he's trying to delay some of them being being passed or whatever else, or basically gotten rid of. And so he just starts, riffing on what he would do with the Star Wars sequels.
Yeah, he doesn't have to talk about anything topical. And apparently the producers just said, "We just need a filibuster scene. Go."
Yeah.
This is what he said. And he basically wrote the next Star Wars film and I think the next 3 Avengers films all at the same time.
Right.
Also, there was
just all off the cuff, right?
Yeah, it was a triple universe crossover. He even caught himself. Like, the most amazing thing about that whole rant is early on he refers to like the X-Men flying in the Quinjet, and you're like, wait a minute, that's not right. And then later on he's like, no, who's piloting the Quinjet? It's Richard Reed. It's a fake out. Like, he actually caught himself mid rant and corrected, which is kind of amazing to watch, because I really do, like, he's enough of an alpha nerd to have been able to do that off the cuff.
He's the real deal, man. There is that whole bit.
I'm thinking Chewbacca's head is on like a robot spider body with some like ion cannons and shit. Like, cool.
He has that whole rant too about how like nerdery or something is dead or whatever else.
He had a Wired article that was essentially like, everybody else has claimed nerd culture, so we need to kind of recreate it for it to be special again, because it's been conquered by the proletariat.
Yeah. What was that movie with Charlize Theron that he was in?
Oh, Big Fan? Or just the fan?
No. It was recent. Not Grown Up. What was it called?
It was called something like that. It was like Grown Up. I can't remember.
Oh God, I can't remember. Anyway, his character in that he basically takes apart like action figures and reassembles them into different things and paints them and that kind of stuff. And you can actually it's so believable in the character because at Patton Oswalt you can actually kind of see him doing that, like in his spare time. And he's you guys ever watch his stand up?
I have never watched his stand up.
Not really.
Oh my
God.
Young
Adult. That's
Young Adult. Thank you. Yes, Young Adult is the name of that movie. Pretty decent movie till the end. The end kind of cops out. I didn't really like the ending of that movie. But anyway, his stand-up is fucking phenomenal. Like he is a really funny human being.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got at least three albums on iTunes, and they're all amazing.
Yeah.
Is it center on geek humor, or is it all over the place?
No, it's all over the place.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
He's very geeky. I mean, I remember him describing how his wife was going to trick him into having a child by leaving a trail of original Kirby X-Men comics into her vagina.
No. Oh, dear.
He would follow them like E.T. following pieces, just can't help himself.
Yeah. Check out, it's not too hard to find his Star Wars filibuster. Patton Oswalt filibuster should be all you have to search. We'll try to link it to it and everything. And
it's one of those clips because it's Parks and Rec. It requires some how do I put it? DNS foo if you're Canadian.
Okay.
Or in another country.
Right.
America.
Yeah, we got access to all the good entertainment shit.
Well, you keep making it.
And if you're not familiar with Parks and Rec, I can't possibly suggest watching that show enough. It's
Can I say something that's going to rend you to your soul? I still haven't seen a single episode of Parks.
That's fine. No, you should really show. We didn't start watching until last year. It's not we've been there since the beginning.
I've decided to stop watching Community at the end of season 3, as seems to be proper. So I think I will pick up Parks and Rec now.
Community's a little all over the place, but I still enjoy it enough. Well, I mean, they made Pierce nice, and now Chang is unbearable.
There is the Alison Brie content, which I know you enjoy.
Yeah.
Speaking of searching for gifts,
exactly. Last thing I think I want to talk about. I'm actually kind of glad Dan's not here because he's not all up in this shit. But the Man of Steel trailer, the trailer number 3.
My god!
Holy shit!
Good.
Oh my god!
That looks so good.
Yeah,
this is so well documented in me talking and writing about this stuff. But I fucking hate Superman, and I can't wait to see this movie.
Well, because Superman's boring in his normal form. He's like a big Deus Ex Machina. He can just write himself out of anything because he's as strong as a planet.
Right. They had to invent something to destroy him with. And
there are some awesome deliveries in that trailer of lines. And, it's some stuff. One of the ones that I really liked the most was with so few words, they imply that he can be killed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just really hard. I love that beginning bit where they're sending, their baby away, and it's like he'll be an outcast. They'll kill him, and he just says, "How?"
Yeah,
really, how are they going to do that? But it's doable because she says they're going to kill him. Just those two little sentences are an amazing construction, I think. Right. And I love that they explain finally that the S is not a fucking S. That is great. I didn't like the way the joke. I think the joke in the trailer fell a little bit flat at the end, but that whole thing is just such an amazing looking. I think I watched it 5 times when the Apple link went up in 1080p.
Oh yeah,
it's also a very grainy film, eh? It's really grainy.
Yeah, no,
it's interesting they chose that, but
that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
Interesting choice. I was joking to my wife, when you see some of especially the earlier trailers that are really dark in tone, I'm like, it's like, oh fuck, now I'm gonna blank on the name. Who is that director that did Thin Red Line?
Terrence Malick.
Yeah, it's like Terrence Malick made Superman. Like a lot of those shots with the butterfly and the swing set and the wheat field.
Yeah,
it's almost a little bit shameless. It's like Terrence Malick's Superman.
Yeah, a little bit. That's all right.
I mean,
though.
I'm perfectly all right with that, and I do think it's hilarious how many people are trying to figure out how he shaves his super strong beard, because he has a beard in the early clips.
Well, it is a good point. Maybe a kryptonite shaver.
No, it's covered in the comics. He basically saved a curved, polished piece of his launch craft, and he fires his heat vision into this thing, which reflects back onto his face, shearing off the exposed whiskers. It's all covered.
Oh, wow.
It's very clear. You got to pay attention.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow.
I don't know.
Good.
I'm continually surprised by how much I want to see this movie. I mean, I haven't seen Sucker Punch, but everybody's allowed a bad movie. I like Zack Snyder a lot.
You know, Sucker Punch is almost like it went way over the top, but it wanted to go way over the top. So it's like I have a weird time faulting that movie because I don't think it did anything it didn't mean to. It's just that it just didn't like it just looks like a hilarious music video most of the time. But I kind of am cool with robots fighting biplanes with samurai swords. So I do think that Sucker Punch sort of had to die in order for this to be good in a weird way. You know, like he had to take at least one lump because he was.
If you got to take a dive, it's not bad to take a dive on Sucker Punch, which nobody really cares about.
And
Man of Steel when you got Christopher Nolan producing it for you. So
yeah, and I dig the way they're setting this movie up. Like there's a lot of the stuff is definitely gone from the whole Donner version of Superman, like all the crystal tech. Mm-hmm. You know, like everything was made out of crystals. And it's like he landed in a goddamn spaceship. It looks like a Giger thing almost. It's really full of pipes and stuff.
Yeah. I really want to know what they're thinking with putting Superman in handcuffs.
Well, he's just obliging them. That's what he's doing, clearly, in that scene.
Why bother? I mean, come on.
Because he's trying to be nice. Like
him, I understand being nice because that's his way. But I mean, you're a cop. You're like, I'm not going to bother doing this.
Yeah, they don't. They just think he's a nutbar at that point. Although I want to know if that scene occurs before or after he's hovering over the column of tanks.
I didn't see that shot.
There is one shot of him. It's just like, oh. One of my favorite bits, too, is at the very end, a friend of mine pointed this out. Like, you see this like really quick cutting thing of him kind of flying through the air and punching one of these, other Kryptonians. And he pointed out to me, he's like, do you know what's happening there? He's punching the same guy back and forth and flying to where he's going and then punching him back. I'm like, that sounds good. I'm down for that. That's worth the price of admission by itself.
All right.
Sweet.
Punch all of the things.
Gentlemen, I think we have our show.
Yeah,
Thank
seems
goodness.
like.
It was a good time. I enjoyed being here tonight. Ryan, I really just assumed you won 5 combo.
I'll get you, Alexander.
Not that any of this shit matters at all, but it's always a little bit of pride when you just you still pull
you're
things
celebrating like it mattered.
I was robbed on Moon Knight. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah,
probably.
All right,
but,
send me some links with me.
Adam giving Kevin crap about not reading any Avengers, and I dropped Moon Knight on him, and he's like,
"What?
Knowing anything about any of the Avengers characters?
That's why I lay my full disclosure."
He got in a fight outside of an Egyptian temple, and then the Egyptian moon god came down and gave him his silver cloak and resurrected him. Fuck.
Oh.
Come on.
Get with it. Get on my level.
Damn it. I'll catch up.
Man, what an asshole.
All right, it's a good thing I bought Marvel Unlimited. Then I'll go back and catch up.
Night.
But anyway, I'm not going to go through a whole spiel. You guys know what to do because you're our loyal listeners, and you already know where to find us and all this stuff. So I'm going to ask you to tell your friends about Perpetual Geek Machine. Tell us about our podcast. Tell them that we're about to eclipse
100
our
episodes.
previous. Yeah, we're getting close to 100 episodes, and we might have to do something special. We don't know about that.
Big
but that's like 2 months away. We got plenty of time to figure out what we might do.
And a nice summer one, maybe a beach one.
Yeah, maybe. We don't know. We don't know. It'll be a surprise to listeners as well. Yes, but thank you to Jonathan Mitchell, Jerkface Killer on Twitter, for sending in the excellent and very succinct description of what 5 combo is. We appreciate that.
Wordsmithery, excellent.
And that is about it. So I'm going to wrap it up here for my co-host Adam Dixon and Ryan Houston. I have been your host Kevin Alexander. Thank you for listening, and until next time, we are shutting down the machine.